Hello everybody, welcome to JLABTV. I'm JLAB and this is Football Manager 2016, the Unemployment Challenge. We started our first game of February away to Southend and they got a goal when Mitov made an absolute howler, which allowed Rowley a chance to score against his former club. We did manage to equalise before the first half ended though. Pollock found the Silva Lopez, he found Murphy and Murphy was not going to miss that for his 13th goal of the season. His first goal in a while. It was in the first minute of the second half that we found ourselves going 2-1 up. Pollock was able to shoot in that sort of position with no chances at all. So much time and space to himself, he was never going to miss. It was just 6 minutes later though that Southend managed to get an equaliser. Why they were able to get this much space I don't know, but Delaney managed to make it 2-2 and I wasn't happy at all. Momentum was on Southend's side now and Leggett found Duncan, he found Barfield and he found Asayi Samuel to make it 3-2 to Southend in the 65th minute of the game. But just 2 minutes later, we got an equaliser. De Silva Lopez found Lucas, he found Pollock, he found Nichols, and Nichols found the back of the net with his shot, his 14th goal of the season. And that was all she wrote. 3-3 draw in our first game of February. I'm just hoping that we don't have to worry about too many incidents like this in the future, honestly. Our next game was at home to Torquay, and there wasn't any goals. There might have been a few chances, we probably had a few chances to score, but we didn't really score any and neither did they. So it was just a dull 0-0 draw in that regards, but we did have chances, so I don't know what there's to say that part really. Murphy could have won the game for us, but that's about it. Our next game was away from home against Carlisle, and we got the only goal of the game when De Silva Lopez scored from that effort to make it 1-0 and to score perhaps his best goal to date, 11th of the season for him. And that was all that happened in regards to goals. We had plenty of opportunities to score, we just didn't take them until that moment when De Silva Lopez scored that goal, sorry. But we just need to get more victories and we will be able to continue our charge for promotion. Our next game was at home to Dagenham and Redbridge, and this is the moment that we found ourselves just scoring. It was absolute howler. I'm not sure what starting extra line we were doing, but Murphy was given an absolute gift to score the only goal of the game. I can't believe I even saw that. I'll probably make a video separately just for that. But it was quite funny, honestly. It really was. That was the only goal of the game, and we got a 1-0 win. Our next game was away from home against Scunthorpe United, and they took the lead when Butler scored from the corner for his first goal of the season in the 37th minute of the game. We did manage to get back on level terms, however, when Joe Williams found Pollock, he found Murphy, he found De Silva Lopez, and De Silva Lopez scored his second goal in 2 matches for his 12th goal of the season in the 61st minute of the game. However, things started to go against us when Madden was fouled by Convery, who had already been booked and was given his second yellow of the game to send us down to 10 men. And they got themselves a penalty in the 76th minute of the game, and they scored a powered home penalty spot kick. And they were never going to lose from there on in against 10 men. How disappointing that was for us, considering that Scunthorpe were in the bottom 3 at the time, or still are, can't remember. Our next game was at home to Chesterfield, and this is a side that is on such a good run of form at the moment. Ball managed to make it 1-0 inside 4 minutes. We should have done a lot better, honestly, but we didn't, and they scored to make it 1-0. And just 11 minutes later, it was practically all over. Ball was involved again. First shot was saved by Mitov, only to go as far as Curtis Main, who got his first ever goal for Chesterfield with that goal. They won 2-0, and quite honestly, I'm not surprised I lost to this side. You'll see why in a few minutes. Our next game was at home to Northampton Town, and we went behind after 9 minutes when Della Valle scored the opening goal of the game, or was it 10 minutes? I can't tell, it's difficult to see from here. But they had a chance to make it 2-0, with this penalty, but they missed it. Danny Guthrie versus Dimitar Mitov, and Mitov was able to guess the right way and save it to keep it at 1-0, but despite the number of chances we did have, we weren't able to win. We found ourselves losing 1-0 despite having 27 shots, but only 7 of those were on target. It was rather disappointing. We went into this game on a run of 3 straight defeats, and I had a team meeting with the team, and De Silva Lopez gave us the lead inside 8 minutes for his 13th goal of the season. I don't know what happened, what the problem was before, but our team meeting seemed to have done the trick when John Howe scored his first ever goal for us after he's came back from his injury with his broken leg to give himself a chance at the first team. We weren't able to keep a clean sheet though, because Joe Lewis put the ball in his own net. Not Paul Lewis, sorry, put the ball in his own net. But 6 minutes later, we were able to get ourselves a third, and to ensure we won, Pollock scoring his second goal of the season with that effort. He's doing well in Wallace's absence, and we managed to get our first win in 4 matches after 3 straight defeats. If only we had done that earlier. Our next game was at home to Wimbledon, who we needed to beat badly, so when Robinson was able to score after getting in the Converse cross, I was delighted. It was his first ever goal for the club. And in the 36th minute of the game, just 40 minutes later, Gamston played the ball in and Robinson got his second of the game to make it 2-0 to Macclesfield Town. I was rather delighted, and just 5 minutes later, it was 3-0. Gamston was given all the time in the world to play his cross in, and Robinson got on the end of it to complete his hat-trick. In the game, he scored his first ever goal for us as well. However, Wimbledon did come back in the second half to try and get a fight back. Summerfield, who had hit the post at least twice, in the first half, managed to get a goal this time in the 50th minute of the game, and we found ourselves losing our 2-goal lead. Summerfield's cross came in, Stockley found the back of the net in the 90th minute to make it 3-2. I was starting to fear for our lead, but I didn't need to. Pollock was able to find Murphy. Murphy was able to have shot a goal, and he powered it into the back of the net for his 15th goal of the season. We were able to get this victory against Wimbledon in a game we needed to win, for reasons I'll show you after the last match. The last match of March was away to Tranmere, and the Silva Lopez's cross was met by Murphy, who scored his 16th league goal of the season in the 92nd minute of the game to win us all 3 points. And this is after I was thinking, oh, it's going to be a very boring 0-0 draw. And before that moment, nothing had really happened. So to get all 3 points was rather good for our purposes. And that victory against Wimbledon is now showing why it was so important. Wimbledon have won in their last 5 matches, and when we did beat them, at one point, we were only 1 point ahead of Wimbledon. But with our 3 wins in a row in the last 3 matches, we've now gotten an 8-point lead over Luton Town with a game in hand, because we had games postponed. Our game against Barrow was originally postponed, and now Accrington Stanley is postponed. So we had to rearrange that match as well. And our defeat against Chesterfield looks rather more understandable when you realise that Chesterfield are now top of the table after spending most of it outside the top 2. Chesterfield and Oxford have always secured a place in the playoff. We have fallen away from Oxford, unfortunately, but we've got such a good gap between ourselves. It's almost like we are in our own little league by ourselves. 8 points behind Oxford, but 8 points ahead of Luton with a game in hand. We can still get in the top 2, but I'm not completely fussed about where we finish in the top 3 as long as we do finish in the top 3. If we get promoted, that's brilliant. It really is. We're going to look at the fixtures now. We've got Port Vale, Luton, Oxford, Wickham, Doncaster, Accrington, Cheltenham and Bolton, with Luton and Oxford being 2 of our next 3 opponents, and they are 2 teams we need to win against to suit our purposes. Luton being in 4th and Oxford being 2nd. It could affect our season quite substantially, actually, if we were to beat both of those teams, ensure our promotion and keep ourselves within fighting chance of getting in the top 2. However, I'm going to end this video here. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Hope you like and favourite this video. It will really help me out a lot. We're looking very good for promotion now. Let's hope we can actually ensure we do that. So, anyway, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.